Domestic violence. It's something I've talked about time and time again. How a simple argument can turn sour faster than a pat of butter melts on a hot biscuit. Luckily, most of the time it gets worked out. The argument just fizzles. Everyone just goes to bed, sleeps it off, and hopefully the next day can calmly talk about it and get whatever issue resolved. Some of the time, though, it just doesn't happen like that. Things go way too far. The argument turns physical. One partner hits the other or both. On the rare occasion, when you add in drugs or alcohol, they can turn deadly. And in the ultra rare instance where there may be an added factor of mental illness, well, that can just be the worst of all. And that's exactly what I'll be talking about in this episode. Truly some of the worst instances of domestic violence. I know I put a disclaimer on every episode in the show notes, and it should also be implied that every single episode is going to have something that's just extremely rough and graphic to listen to, but this is going to have some stuff that even I hate hearing about. This episode today will involve kids. So for those of you that don't like listening to those types of things, I hope you can tune in next week. For the rest of you, welcome back to Music City 911.
Where's your emergency?
There's a girl running down the street saying that her stepfather is killing everyone in her family. It's on the corner of where there's a body shop and the fire department. Do you know what road this is?
Okay, what's your name?
Get ran to the fire department.
What's your name?
Do you know what road this is? Laura Lendell Road.
You said what?
It's Laura Lendell Road.
Okay, and what did the female say to you?
And she says that her stepfather is killing everybody in her house. I did. I'm on the phone with them right now.
Did she say how or what was happening?
I asked her to get in the car with me, and she said she couldn't leave her family. But I think she ran to the fire department.
So she went to the fire station. What did she look like?
She's probably a young teenager, probably like 16 maybe, with long blonde hair. And she has a black dog.
Did she say anything about a baby?
I don't know about no baby. She said she just couldn't leave her family. But I see a car running around. I'm sorry?
Do you see anything from the house?
So I drove down the road a little bit, so I was afraid that I was going to get shot myself since I interacted with her face to face. So I'm just about maybe 3 houses down. But she's waiting at the corner. I don't know what she's doing, but I kind of still see her in the corner. But I saw a car kind of came around and whipped around, so I'm not exactly sure if that's him or if he's chasing her or not. I'm sorry?
What kind of vehicle was it?
I saw it. It was like a gray. Did you see that car whip around? It's one of the fire department guys.
Okay.
I think maybe a fire department guy. It was a regular kind of Focus-looking gray car.
Okay, we have help on the way. Thank you.
Dark gray.
If you
Okay, all right.
Call us back, okay, and steer clear of the area at this time.
Okay.
A woman driving down the street in Claremont County, Ohio, finds a teenage girl that says her stepdad is killing her family. There wasn't a lot of further info in that call. Dispatch found a rough location of where this was happening and started help. Deputies rushed to the scene where they didn't know exactly where it was happening and weren't sure what they were walking into. Once they got to the rough area, they found the house they were looking for.
Where's he at?
Shooter's on the porch.
Get him right here. You got him on the porch.
We've asked, that's the last place we've been told.
You show me your hands now! Stand up and walk towards us! Stand up now! Walk towards us! Stand up with your hands up!
We got a visual in the mail. Not showing his hands, not following commands.
Stand up now!
Not showing hands or following commands. His name is Chad Dorman. Chad Dorman.
I know, but we can't.
People need first aid, and he's not complying. And you know he's a shooter. Shoot him.
We gotta find cover first. We ain't no good if we ain't safe ourselves. Hey, no. We need to come from this side where we can see them. Don't take cover behind her. We see them. We're going to approach from this side. We got cover. Right here.
6 covered, 29 and 63 is type out.
Deputies could see the suspect from the street sitting on the porch of the house with a rifle sitting beside him. The front yard of the house was pretty large, and aside from a couple of trees and a smaller camper trailer, there was no good cover for the deputies to use for their own safety. They decided to push forward and use the camper trailer for cover and approach the suspect, who was eerily calm. After rounding the corner of the trailer, it became clear what had happened.
Show us your fucking hands now! Stand up! Stand up! Stand up! Stand up now! Stand up! Stand the fuck up!
EMS to stage and air carrier is going to go ahead and fly whenever any units can advise.
Get your hands out of here.
72.
Cover 21. Send the air.
If those guys can confirm that there's people that need first aid, and that's the shooter who's not complying, they need to take care of the
I got it.
victims. If they have to shoot him, then shoot him.
Man, I ain't trying to hurt nobody or nothing. I'm completely sober. Never did drugs a day
63,
in my
we're
life.
21. Get the EMS over here.
Well, I did drugs when I was little, but I don't do drugs now. I'm sober. I'm not trying to fight you. Gatlin,
63.
get your butt inside. Gatlin, get your butt inside.
We on primary?
Now.
29, we got 3 kids down.
3 kids down, 16 feet up.
Gatlin.
63, we're 21.
Knock
Have
it off.
EMS respond over here.
You're clear, they're being advised.
Robert 34, just started mass casualty response.
63, do you want them to respond to the Laurel Lindale address? Where exactly do you need them?
We're right in the front yard.
EMS was then given the okay to enter the scene. The suspect was in custody. What deputies found in the front yard was a woman shot in the hand and 3 boys, all under the age of 10, laying motionless, shot in the head. Further playing the video from the deputies, the mother can be heard in the background.
You took my life from me! My life!
What are you doing, man?
Hey, are you copying all this?
Can I roll over? I ain't gonna hurt you. I ain't gonna hurt
You
nobody.
got anything on you?
No, I ain't got nothing, man. Phone, that's it. I ain't mad. I ain't nothing. Just make sure that dog don't come out. I don't think he'll bite you. Just don't reach for him and try to grab him and pet him.
All right.
He won't bite you.
What's going on, man?
Nothing. Can I stand up? It's kind of uncomfortable.
I'm gonna get
I ain't
you
gonna
here
do
in a
nothing. I ain't
second.
running away. You can do whatever you want with me.
Here. You the only one else inside the house?
What?
You the only one else inside the house? Sit down right here.
My daughter, she ran over to the fire department.
Sit down.
It's my stepdaughter.
Put him in the cage.
Listen, look.
The suspect was then picked up from the ground and walked to one of the patrol vehicles to be held while EMS could come to the scene. While on the walk to the car, and still calm, the suspect asked the deputy a question, and the deputy's response, "Well, I can't agree with him more on this."
Can you get the wallet out of my back pocket?
Shut up, dude.
21.
You had to write the main silence and fucking use it.
32-year-old Chad Dorman was arrested and charged with 21 counts total, of which were multiple charges of murder, kidnapping, and felonious assault. While in custody and being interviewed by detectives, he gave a full confession. At his initial bond hearing, captured on camera by WKRC in Cincinnati, the suspect can be seen escorted into the courtroom wearing a bulletproof vest and 2 pairs of handcuffs on his wrists, both shackled to his waist. He was flanked by 5 sheriff's deputies. A description by one of the county prosecutors to the judge in the bond hearing is just horrible.
Good morning, Judge. Good morning. Judge, we've got law enforcement with us here today. Our office has been involved. Lots of people in our office have been involved with law enforcement throughout yesterday, afternoon, evening, all the way through this morning. And the facts I have for you at this point are as follows. The trauma that this man has inflicted on his family, the community, law enforcement, first responders, and all of the rest of us who have any idea what's going on here is unspeakable. There's been a full admission in this case, Judge. The case is still new. We're still discovering facts. But the evil horror of what we know is impossible to process. In an act of just incomprehensible cruelty, the father that stands before you lined up his 3 young boys, and he executed them in his own home with a rifle. They were ages 3, 4, and 7, Judge. In an act of desperation to save her children, the mother at some point grabbed the gun that father was wielding to attempt to protect them. We know that one of the boys was able to flee into a field near the home. And again, we know from his admission, father hunted that boy down, drug him back to the property, and executed him in front of witnesses. The mother was shot through the hand in her attempt to protect her children. Judge, I asked the court setting this bond to just begin to imagine their fear. This was the man that every day they woke up looking to for protection, love, guidance in all things. The man they trust more than any other person on earth. The person they rely upon to keep them safe from harm. He was their world. He was their guardian. And he executed them in cold blood. We know that from his admission. By that same admission, Judge, he has committed one of the most monstrous, craven, cowardly acts that will ever be our misfortune to see. To make things even more disturbing, Judge, this was no haphazard act. Again, by his own admission, he planned the events of this day. This did not happen on a whim. He's confessed to what I believe is the worst crime, at least I hope, that I'll see in my lifetime. I hope it's the worst fact pattern that ever comes before this court. Judge, it's important for the court to know, and the bond we're going to request today, for the court to understand, Claremont County deputies, Monroe Township Fire and EMS, and other first responders bravely respond to the scene where they don't know what's going on. They did not know what they're facing, and they come into a scene that no one can ever be prepared for. No law enforcement training, no training of any kind prepares you for this. It's easy to forget that these are men and women with families, children, feelings, emotions. They're not some automaton performing a delegated function. They're people. They were required to give CPR to gunshot children, 3, 4, and 7-year-old children. They held these boys in their arms knowing there was nothing they could do to save him. How long do those scars last? What day do you wake up from that and you're healed? How do you unsee such an abomination? The bond factors this court needs to consider today are set forth in Criminal Rule 46, nature and circumstance of the crime charged, and specifically whether the defendant used or had access to a weapon, including the seriousness of the offense. It's the most serious offense that we have on the books, Judge. This is it. You can't commit a more serious offense. So the nature of the crime charged is the worst crime that can be charged. Did he have access to a weapon? Yes, obviously he did. The weight of the evidence against the defendant at this point, Judge, we stand here with a full admission of the defendant. That also goes to the confirmation of the defendant's identity, and witnesses on scene did see at least part of what happened. Next, the court is to consider the likelihood this person would return to court if a bond were issued. Again, this is the most heinous crime with the most severe penalty under the law that we presented to the grand jury. That alone would be a major factor in discouraging a person from availing themselves to this court or any other. And the thought to flee and the likelihood of flight is great in the state's opinion. The danger he poses to the community is a factor that this court can consider, and I think with the facts in front of you, Judge, we can't name a person that poses a greater threat to the community. As his prior record goes, Judge, it is fairly minimal. He was charged with domestic violence in 2010. He is not, to my knowledge, on probation community control. Judge, the facts of this case are hopefully like no other we will ever see. When this case gets indicted in the Court of Common Pleas, I am certain that a no bond hearing will be held, and I would hope that would be granted. But at this point, at this juncture, we're going to ask this court to issue a bond we've never asked for before. I'm going to ask for a bond of $20 million. I hope I never need to request such a bond again.
Thank you. Date for preliminary hearing?
The date for the preliminary hearing, Judge, is 6/26.
No objection, Your Honor. The preliminary hearing will be set for June 26th at 1 p.m. At this point in time, bond's going to be set in the amount of $20 million cash or surety. Anything else at this time, Mr. Gast?
No, Judge.
Mr. Kemp?
The suspect has since pled not guilty, and his next pretrial hearing has been scheduled for July. Prosecutors are seeking the death penalty. This next bit of audio I'm going to play, I'm going to talk a bit about it before I play it. This came from my home state of Tennessee, in Marion County, which is located just to the west of Chattanooga. This is just over an hour's drive from me, just south of where I live. It's a county with a very small population of only 28,000. Just this afternoon, I called their dispatch center to find out a bit about them. I found out that because of the population, the most dispatchers they will have at any time on duty is around 5. And most of the time, it's fewer than that. In previous episodes, I've talked about dispatchers who have to do more than one job at a time, and this is one of them. You'll hear one dispatcher in this answering several calls and having to put some of those calls on hold because so many calls are flooding in. She's having to do most of this work by herself. So you might initially think, why is she putting someone calling 911 on hold? Well, if she's the only one answering the phones, that's what you have to do.
Marion County Dispatch.
Hey, this is 270 with South Pittsburgh Police Department. I'm at 224 Pine Street. I've not opened my door yet, but there's a dude at my door saying that he has been shot. And apparently he's still shooting. Okay.
Give me just a second, okay? I'm trying. Marion County 911.
Yes, ma'am. I need an officer Up here, my neighbor has been shot. He's in the yard. Oh, for help. Somebody's still shooting up here. The address. 210. Mine is 210 Pine Street. Well, I don't know what his is. It's next door. But they're still shooting. He's calling for help in the yard. Oh, God.
Okay, just hold on for me for a second, okay?
Oh, God.
Are you still there?
Yes, ma'am. Listen. Whoever it is still shooting. It said his girlfriend is dead. There's kids over there. He's a cop.
Okay, just...
I'm on the phone with 911.
Stay on hold.
Is that a jury?
I already have officers en route. Do you know where this man was shot at?
Sorry, I'm afraid to walk over there.
Hello?
Ma'am, I got you on speaker.
Okay, do you know where this man's been shot at?
Sir, where's he been shot at? I don't think... I need to know where he's shot at. He won't answer. I understand that, but you ain't got to yell. I know you're getting shot.
Okay, ma'am, I have EMS en route, okay?
We need ambulance. We just need whatever.
Yes, ma'am.
I mean, I understand.
En route right now, okay? I got more
I don't want them to
call the ambulance.
Okay, yeah.
Do you know the name before I disconnect the phone?
They need to know your name.
What's your name?
I told them they gotta have his name.
We don't know. We're afraid to go up there. Goddamn idiot.
Oh, God, the house is on fire.
10-4, ma'am. 10-4. Just let me put you on hold for a second so I can get EMS and fire out.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Marion County Dispatch.
Hey, Jessica, this is Reagan. I'm at 224 Pine Street, my house. A guy just come up on my porch.
Yeah, we got officers en route. Do you know who's the shooter?
I do. He said it's her ex-boyfriend. He didn't give me a name. I haven't opened the door yet because I can't see his ass, and I don't have my weapon on me. So,
you ain't gonna, okay. All right,
yeah.
stay in the house.
They're en route. Okay.
Where's she? Has she been shot?
No, he has been shot. It's a he.
He's been shot.
He said he got shot. He got shot by her ex-boyfriend. He got shot in the hand and in the chest, apparently.
In the hand and the chest.
That's what he says.
Stop the down.
For one,
Marion County Dispatch.
Hello. This is Abby O'Neill out on Mossflower Road. My neighbor, Margaret Edwards, is gone on a vacation. There's two cars that's pulled into her field.
Okay, ma'am. Can you hold on just a minute? Marion County 911.
Yes, we need the police because they're shooting behind my house over here at Tiffany Horseshoe.
Someone route.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Marion County 911.
Yes, I'd like to report a house fire.
Yeah, we've got them en route. It's on Pine Street.
Yes, they're still in the house right now, too.
They're still in the house?
They're still in the house. There's, I think, a mom, kids, and everybody. They're still in the house.
Okay.
My mom's calling for them, but nobody's coming out.
We got them en route. We got police and fire.
Okay.
Marion County Dispatch.
I need the fire department to. Apparently the house is on fire. I just come outside. The house is on fire.
Yeah. Can you advise who the shooter is? Do you know, Reagan?
I do not know, ma'am. He said it was her ex-boyfriend, and now the house is on freaking fire.
And everybody's inside?
There's kids inside. I'm getting all my stuff out now.
Okay. All right. Marion County 911.
Lady, I've been on hold. There's kids in this house is on fire.
Yeah,
I need y'all to hurry up.
We got fire and EMS en route, okay?
Okay.
We got them en route.
Yeah, y'all gonna have to hurry.
Okay, we got them en route as fast as I can go, okay? Marion County 911.
Yes, ma'am. I'm looking at
my neighbor's house and some cars getting down there, moving around. I think they're supposed to be on vacation. I was wondering if you could send someone out.
What's the residence, sir?
It's Miss Mary Myers' house. I don't know the address.
You don't. What street number is it on? What street name?
It's right off Highway 41. Right, you come under the underpass. It's that red light. First house on your right.
I need
or just come to
address. I need an address.
Come to 137 Mosscorn Road.
It's what? Your phone's real muffled.
Come to 137 Mosscorn Road, and I'll give you directions.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Take an EMS, this Crystal.
Hey, Crystal, it's Marion. I need you guys en route to the area of 210 to 224 Pine Street. It's going to be a male subject. He has been shot in the hand and in his chest. We do have police and fire en route because his family's inside the house. Someone's continuing to shoot, and they have now set the house on fire. And everyone is inside of the residence still.
That's not to take in. Okay, and you said it's in, what's the city again?
It's in Sequatchie.
Sequatchie, okay. All right, we're on the way.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Marion County Dispatch.
Hey, it's Christina, THP. Hey, my unit queued up and advises of this shooting and the house getting set on fire.
Yeah.
Is that going to be in Sequatchie?
Yes, that's going to be in the area of 210 to 224 Pine Street. They couldn't give me the exact address.
Okay. Do you have units in route?
I do have police, EMS, and fire en route.
Okay. He's on it literally just down the road. How close are your units?
I believe some of them went on scene, but the phone won't stop ringing and trying to get people out.
I understand.
Not sure. I got to replay some sound on here.
Okay. Will you let us know if we get a chance when you get settled, and then I'll let you know what I know.
Okay. Absolutely.
He's almost there.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Thanks. Bye.
All right. Okay. Marion County Dispatch.
Hi, this is Josh Blends. I know y'all are busy. Are they ready for me on 41? I'm in a line of cars here behind the fire department and police.
Give me like 10 minutes, and I promise I will call them and find out. We have a huge situation over in Sequatchie.
Yeah, no, I know. I know. I've been listening. I know you're busy. I just didn't know if they were ready for me.
Okay. Yeah. Give me just a minute.
Yeah. Do what you got to do. All right. Bye.
As you could hear, it was constant, nonstop calls from both citizens and other agencies during that mad time. First off, I want to say that with what she had to work with, that dispatcher did a great job. It sounded like she was the only one assigned to working the phones and had to do multiple jobs while people were still calling in. One of them sounded like he was calling about something completely unrelated during that. So as I said, it was a great job done, but was for an absolutely terrible crime. Authorities are still trying to piece all this together. It happened just a few days ago. Just like the last one, this was domestic related, but a bit different in how it all happened and how many victims there were. When deputies arrived at the scene, they found a house on fire. Once the flames were put out, the bodies of 3 adults and 3 children were inside. County Sheriff Burnett has relayed that one of the victims, Regina Barnett, had a restraining order against her estranged husband, Gary. It's believed he showed up at the house and began shooting. Then after he was done with that, set the house on fire and then turned the gun on himself. Also inside the house were Brittany Perez and her 3 children, ages 11, 6, and 2. A previous domestic violence case against Gary was placed by Regina, where she says that he threatened to shoot her and her dog. She was afraid he would actually shoot her because he would get drunk, and he owned over 50 guns. The one man who showed up on the doorstep of the initial caller was flown to a nearby hospital. His name has not been released. The investigation into this will continue, but I don't know how much else we will end up knowing about this. The last call I have, while the outcome isn't nearly as bad as the first two incidents, the call itself might be one of the most difficult calls you'll ever listen to. Extra warning for this one.
Malvern 911, what's your location to the emergency? Okay, stay on the phone. I need to get you through to medical. Don't hang up. Ma'am, who shot him? Ma'am, you said the mother. Brevard, we've got a gunshot victim, 3243 Woods Mill. Okay. Hello, ma'am. Ma'am. No, please. Did they say how many people were shot? She just said the father was, and she said several times that he may be dead. I'm going to stay on the line. Nobody's talking to me. Is anybody there? Mommy! Come on, baby. Please come help me, please. 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 Come on, shoot me in the head. Come on, baby. Come on, shoot me in the head. Jesus. Come on, baby. Oh, Jesus. Come on, baby. Come on. Yeah, you got it. You all right? Can you do it? Come on now, let's go.
Year-old William Brian Stillwell was having domestic issues with his wife Mona. She, along with their 5-year-old twins, moved into her parents' house. Sometime during all this, Mona started a relationship with William's best friend. William found out about the affair by a sex video recorded on a cell phone. During a backyard gathering at Mona's parents' house, William showed up with a semi-auto pistol and began shooting. He started with Mona's father, then turned the gun towards her mother just before shooting Mona. As you could probably hear on the call, this all happened in front of their 5-year-old twins, with them screaming, "I don't want anybody to die, and please don't shoot Mommy." Police arrived at the scene, and after a brief standoff, William surrendered. Fortunately, all 3 victims survived. William was charged with 3 counts of attempted murder and 2 counts of child abuse. I'm sure this was an incredibly difficult episode to listen to. It was very hard for me to get through too. But this is something that a 911 dispatcher might have to walk into work and deal with someday. You never know. Follow the show on all social media, all the usual ones: Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. I have a feeling there'll be some talk about this one over on the discussion group on Facebook, so if you're not a member over there yet, be sure to join so you can be part of that talk. If you'd like to help support me and the show, you can head over to patreon.com/MusicCity911 for ad-free and bonus episodes. Also, on the show's website, MusicCity911.com, towards the bottom of the page, you can make a one-time donation under the Buy Me a Beer button. After an episode like this, I might need a couple of those. And speaking of episodes like this, if you want to hear others that are similar, go back in the catalog and search for the word familicide. There have been other cases similar to these I've covered before. I'd highly recommend going back and listening to one or all those episodes again, or for the first time if you're just starting out with the show. Until next time, for Music City 911, I'm Brandon, and y'all have a good one.